All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our 16 July 2025 Werewolf Technical Steering Committee meeting. The primary topic for today, though there will be a few more, is our PEARC BoF that we are, excited and I think ready for on Tuesday of next week. So we have a little bit of discussion about that. I wanted to give a report on the status of 462, which is out now, and some things that happened as part of that release process, and then we'll look at the 463 milestone. That's all I have on the agenda. But is there anything else that we need to get on here? And
Okay, I have a question, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
yeah,
So in the invitation to this meeting, right, there is a link to this journal, right?
yes.
And I added something at the top, but I don't see it now. Oh yeah.
Oh, is it one of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
So
didn't
yeah,
know what to do with it.
great. That was just I didn't see it before. So let's bring this down here to discussion. So this is like stuff to remember checking in on from week to week or meeting to meeting or whatever. And
Yeah.
then I refer to that when building the agenda for today.
Okay, cool.
And since you added it after I did that, I hadn't seen it.
Okay, great. Thank you for that clarity.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing it up. Uh, Christian, thanks for joining. Alex and Jeremy coming in a bit after I had looked at the guest list. So I think I've got you all marked on here. Did I get Alex? Yeah, okay. Um, Anything else that we need to add to our discussion? Again, right now it's mostly PEARC BoF, 462, and 463. All right. Hearing nothing. Rose, tell us about I guess the one, whatever. I'm gonna move this action item thing down to discussion, and we'll talk about it with Perk here. Um, and the, I don't know. I'm being too strict about this. Let's just talk about things. Rose, what's going on with Perk? Are we good to go? Anything that still needs to be done before Tuesday?
I don't think so. No, they sent out a lovely email saying that nothing will be recorded. So, if we want to bring, I'll have my little laptop. So I don't know how the sound will be, but we'll try.
Okay.
We'll see what we can do there. We've got our agenda. We know what we're doing. We're very excited. I mean, anything that you guys can do to let your people know. That sounds weird, but I don't know, on social media or anyone that might be attending. I mean, it'd be awesome to have great attendance there. So maybe we can put another couple of little notes inside of the werewolf community, maybe reach out to, people that we know, maybe post it on LinkedIn or something.
Sounds great. I need to make slides for my part of it for sure, but I've given presentations on what's new in Werewolf 4.6 before, so it won't be too bad. There'll just be a couple new things, like I'll talk about the storage. And Ian, if you want me to put anything in there about Debian and Ubuntu support, let me know, or we can just swap stuff around. Is fine too.
All right.
Just um. And Rose, we had talked last meeting about potentially using some software to do live polling of the audience for questions, especially for the discussion section. Do you have any plans for that at this point, or do you think we should just do like just show of hands type stuff?
I completely forgot about that. I have not thought about it since we last spoke. I think, didn't we have
Okay.
like a deeper conversation? We were trying to do it on the Zoom, and then we were going to bring it and have it on the Zoom.
We
Hmm.
we talked about how Zoom does have functionality for some kind of live polling, and you don't have to be doing a Zoom meeting to use it, but I haven't tested it out for fitness for
Yeah.
purpose here.
But then how would they do it? They'd all have to log into Zoom.
No, there's like a QR code that you go to.
A QR code. Oh yeah, that's sorry. That totally
Okay.
escapes my whole universe. Okay, well
Okay.
I can I let me actually take an actual note and then it will happen.
Okay.
Okay, good.
And then the next thing on our list, which is a little bit out of order, is that we did submit a BoF, or OpenHPC submitted a BoF for SC25, and we are collaborators on it. My name is currently on it to be the one that would speak there. But of course, other members of the community and committee are welcome and invited to come and participate. But just to make sure that they wouldn't be left hanging, to know that someone from Werewolf would come and be part of that. They have also pulled in people from I keep forgetting. There's Confluent, and then the other one is this thing out of Lanel, I think. I can't. Open Chami, I think is what it's called. CHAMI. Um, so there's those conversations or those other, somewhat competitive projects with Werewolf that'll also be participating as interested parties in the Open HPC ecosystem. But Rose, is there anything else that we should discuss or mention or request help with in the Open HPC BoF for SC25?
Not just yet. Chris seems to be pretty satisfied with all the information that he has from the various parties and is, has submitted and is submitting all of that. So we'll wait to hear back from him. But I think this is really exciting. I am thrilled to be in a room with, competitors, as we might call them, and be able to hear firsthand, because obviously people can do similar things, but kind of they're really best for different environments. So I think
Yeah.
this is gonna be great. Very excited about that.
All right. Any other questions from people here about either of those, really, since I didn't ask for other thoughts on the PEARC BoF? All right. With that, the next thing is the Werewolf V462 release. So that is out. It is available. And from a CIQ perspective, I can say that we've already had customer interest in it, which is pretty cool. Thanks to, in no small part, the new support for storage and storage provisioning and root provisioning in Werewolf. So many thanks to everyone who contributed to that release. I've gotten out of the habit of including a list of contributors in the release notes, and I'd like to get back to that, hopefully for 463. Maybe I'll even go back and backport lists into the previous announcements. But a special thanks to Christian for getting the doing all of the initial work to get all of that working and
Yeah, but
then
you
being
you completely re
I did not rewrite
completely
it
rewrote
completely.
that, so there's really no original code inside. So it's
No,
more
no.
like you did the stuff now. But I'm
Working
happy that we have
together.
it.
It
Yeah,
would
yeah.
not
No,
have been
I'm
done
not
if we weren't
working.
working
Yeah,
together
yeah.
on it.
Perhaps.
Yeah, like I definitely was pushing for it to be pushed out until 2.7, and it would not be in there if Christian wasn't pushing for it. So many thanks to Christian for
No
the
problem.
initial implementation and getting us kind of into doing exciting work that people have been asking for quite a while. One thing to be aware of that when I cut the release and tried to publish it, none of our builds were working. And this is because apparently GitHub and GitHub Actions changed something about their permissions model, where now, in order for mock to work, and we use mock to build the packages, in order for mock to work, we had to explicitly add our user to the mock group in the runner. And it took me a while to figure out that that's why it was dying. And so, in the process of fixing it, our build system is now, frankly, completely rewritten. And in particular, the nightly runner and the actual tagged runner are all now running the same code. So you can see that in here on main. And if we're in GitHub and look at workflows, we now just have one thing per thing we're doing. So changelog is a changelog enforcer. It's separate because it's I forget now. Something about the way it's encoded. It has to be its own thing. Um, but we have the test suite that runs on every pull request. We have user docs, which when there are commits, will send the user docs over to the website. So this is what causes those to be published every time there's a commit or every time there's a merge, basically. And then we have this one release workflow, which we can either fire manually or it fires automatically when we have a push to a version tag or runs on a schedule. So every night. And then there are steps down here that just put it in a different place depending on which reason it ran. Another thing that's worth knowing, and we can go check this in the actions. You can go see which actions have run recently. Uh, here's our. Oh, we should have. Okay, yeah. Here's our like last nightly release. So this wouldn't have pushed anything into an actual release, but you can go get these artifacts and see. Or no, it would have pushed into a nightly release. We can go see that. What am I talking about? The main thing is it's always capturing RPMs as artifacts that you can go grab now. Actually, yeah. This is a little bit unusual. This isn't what I expected to see. No, this is not a complete build. This one did not finish. Why did this not finish? Something's not happening right here. I don't know. Live demo is already broken. I'm going to look into that. Because I tested this by even setting like I was changing like the release cadence date and time to see it run in my personal one. But I'll look into why maybe it's not running properly here in the real one. Like I have a clone of this and then it should have been running. Let's see if these, yeah, okay, now I understand. It stopped because there hadn't been any changes in the last 24 hours. So that release didn't generate a new release because there was no new change. There were no new changes to include in it. So if we go back here to actions, it's actually working correctly and I just didn't remember. So let's look at, it said we had one like 2 days ago. Here we go. This is what I expected to see. So this one started building, saw that it included new changes from the previous 24 hours, and then it proceeded with building new RPMs. All of those RPMs are available here, and we can pull them down directly, or they get pushed to that release, that nightly release. And this is the same process that gets run when we run a tagged release now. He's not here, but Tim also mentioned trying to capture this data because we had an instance in the past where release was accidentally deleted and we lost these minor release notes. And so we are also now, this isn't brand new, but something we've been doing for a little bit now. That content is also captured in here. So you can find, look in this 462 markdown document. They're not tied together. It's not automatic or anything, but what it's in the release procedure now that we also capture that information there. So if it does get lost, we can go back and get it because it's in Git now. But so far, I haven't seen any complaints come back off of 462 specifically, no regressions. I did see one person saying that something is wrong with mount options. I guess that's kind of, I'm not sure if that's a regression or something that's been broken. Let's see if that is in if that's in our current milestone. I think it is. Well, you know what, I'll skip. I'll get back to that when we talk about 463. But any questions or comments or additional feedback on 462? Has anyone deployed it? Is anyone using it? Any concerns about it? All right. Anyway, again, great work. Thanks for everyone's help in getting that release out. So this brings us to 463. I would like to try and have 463 out at the end of the month if we can, or soon thereafter, to get us, one, to get us back on the regular cadence, and two, self-interest. CIQ is working on a web interface release that requires a few additions to the API. And so we would like to see those included in another release soon.
Is there any chance that the web interface is released as open source?
Right now, no.
No.
But yeah, that Actually, in
Well, yeah.
theory, it depends on your definition. When you are a customer, you do in fact get the source because um, we are building it against Cockpit, which is LGPL. And
Ah,
so
okay.
in order to build against it, you have to provide
The
you have to be able to relink it. And in JavaScript, the only way to do that is source availability. So we are providing the source to customers. So in a sense, but it doesn't have an open source license. But all of the API stuff is and will.
No,
Um,
no webmin yet.
no webmin yet.
No, I was going to ask you guys, no plans to do anything with webmin.
No.
Okay.
I personally I like Cockpit, but I expect that the Webmin
Yeah.
plugin interface is probably better. Cockpit, the plugin stuff seems to not really expect people outside of the Cockpit team to be building plugins for it, but we've made it work.
Okay.
Um,
No, I'm not actually not bad because I believe Susie's publicly announced that they're moving away from YAS to Cockpit.
yeah, yeah, right.
So it would be nice for especially for us internally. It would merge everything into a single interface.
yeah, Cockpit's great. Yeah, Cockpit's real good.
It works.
It works. I don't feel embarrassed when I use it like I did when I used Webmin, but that's probably a me problem more than anything to do with the software.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that
Yeah,
Seuss
but
is moving to
what
Cockpit.
what would be
Yeah.
interesting, but perhaps if I find some time, is also to have this model context protocol bindings, which will then go through the REST API because the REST API is relatively abstracted now. Then you could. It would be interesting. I don't think it's useful to have an LLM to configure your nodes, but it would be useful to have perhaps a LLM where you can say, yeah, I need a new, can you help me with the template? That would be fun.
Right. Yes, I see what you're saying now. Absolutely. Yeah, that could be good. So this is where we stand with 463.
I
Oh,
just added to the steering committee that you have the Debian package. The thing is that at the top, go up,
oh,
go up.
oh, at the top of this.
Yeah, ESC, DHC. The DHCPD we are using is deprecated.
Yes.
And it will go, it will not be included in 3.16, and also it will go away. Oh yeah, I will just go then to the dnsmasq interface, but I think we should also perhaps think of yeah, doing we can keep the templates, that's not a problem. But perhaps we should as default use dnsmasq or this Kia DHCP, but
I am of the opinion that this should spark our migration to dnsmasq as default. I am interested. Chris, your name here, Chris, is throwing me off.
oh, sorry, sorry. I
Do you
tried to
usually go
change
by
that.
Chris?
No,
Oh, okay.
but that's perhaps kind of getting it from my login is at the workstation is that way, but
I see. I thought you were Chris Short when you were joining at first. So
yeah.
I see Christian nodding, and I think I've heard Tim indicate support for that as well, but I want to check with him. Jeremy, do you have an opinion on switching to dnsmasq at some point in the near future to address this deprecation?
No, that's fine.
I like the idea of moving uh TFTP to that as well. And that'll just reduce our dependency surface too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's the one thing we could also think about would be to have it completely doing this in Go and have both function in Werewolf D, but that would need some more code.
yeah.
And I'm not really the thing is
We had this long discussion about this back when this project first started.
Yeah, and
Greg really was really looking at having Go just having a DHCP server being part of the whole Warewulf package.
yeah, right. And but since then, the I think Google or Facebook, a big one of these big companies is doing. I think it's really Google has did a lot of implementation stuff of DHCP in Go. On the one hand, on the other hand, I'm still not really. The thing is, this whole UEFI, EFI, all this early booting, the network stack is pretty buggy, I would say. It's not really
Mhm.
well tested. So we know that it works against the normal TFTP and dnsmasq perhaps, and because dnsmasq is deployed also a lot, but
Mhm.
for all the other stuff, I don't know.
At the very least, this is an easier thing that's a next step. And
Yeah.
I can see the benefit to that. And as long as you could still turn it off and run your own, that maybe that's the right thing. Running
The only
TFTP locally,
thing where it will get a big advantage is when we think, but that's not as long as somebody. So if we think, if we want to have um, high availability and also scalability, scale out,
yeah,
or I don't know how it's called, what's the buzzword for this is. But then it would be useful to really to know exactly now who is requesting what.
yeah.
And that you don't have, then you would just then you could say, okay, we design our well of the DHCP and the DHCP and TFTP service in such a way that it's fault tolerant.
Maybe the
Then
question I have then is when do we want to target this by? Is this a 4.7 thing or is this a 4.6x thing?
no, that's a 4.7. So
Yeah, okay.
going to dnsmasq, I would say we would try to do this in 4.6.3. Because it won't, it's just a configuration thing. The templates are already there. They are already tested. We already have them. And we know that people are using them because we got bug reports for that. And then the other thing, it's 4x something.
Yeah, I was only talking about switching to dnsmasq. I'm not even
Yeah,
imagining it.
DNSMask 4.6.3, yeah.
I don't think I find it unlikely it'll be in by the end of the month. And I'm also a little bit afraid.
You just have to switch the templates. That's it. And the
Yeah,
configuration, you just have to say in valve.conf, yeah, you have to restart the dnsmasq if the DHCP has changed. That's it.
yeah, maybe it's just because I haven't used it. I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, then just use it.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll do it
It's
while I'm at PEARC. We have, what am I doing? I'm looking here because I know we have something in here.
no, it's in the documentation.
No, I'm looking for this right here. This switch to dnsmasq issue that we
Oh,
already
okay.
have. So I'm gonna switch this to a 4.6x just so it's there, and we can pick that up then.
No, 4.6.3.
You
Come
want me to
on,
put
we
your
need a
name on it
goal
then?
that we can postpone. We cannot just go to the normal cadence. That's too easy.
No. Okay, you do it, and we'll move it to 4.6.3.
I will try to do it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um. All right. Other things going on in here. So this is the one I was talking about. This one I haven't looked too much in, but they're saying that the documentation it has it as a comma separated string and mount options, and that the overlays are expecting it to be a list, not that. So I don't know when that happened. And I'm surprised that it's something that uh that I would have missed in testing. But maybe I didn't specify mount options and I was always using the defaults. So I expect that's what's going on. This should be relatively easy to fix. And then this is so the way we're doing we being CIQ, the way we're doing a PR for our API changes is we did do one pull request that just got merged in. But for the future of them in this release, the current plan is to have all of our API changes in one big omnibus PR So we're kind of doing our own PR merge process into this PR, and then we'll present them all for review. That way, if as we're developing the rest of the UI, we need to make changes back and forth, we're not doing all of that in main. We can just do it here and then merge it all at once. There is one other one that I saw in here that we'll like finish reviewing and then it'll get merged into this PR. This one predates all of that. But you know, there's other stuff in here that doesn't have any owners. Is there any? Well, I think maybe there's a better view if I look at issues. Well, let's look at pull requests first. Pull requests for 463. So I think this one just needs to be merged now. Oh, this one needs an approver. So Ian approved it, but he doesn't have right access to the repo. So, and I think I can't approve it, or I technically can because I'm admin, but I should not approve it or be the one approving it since it's my PR. But Christian, maybe could you review this?
Check, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is with NetPlan, I'm also kind of.
This is really like, I think we should just go with the fact that Ian has said it's good, and we just need someone to stamp it.
Right.
I probably should just be okay with doing it, but
It works.
yeah. Oh no, I've broken. Where did it go? Oh no, I was here in pull request. That's right. We have a small thing here in fixing upgrades. Looks like Tim asked for a change. Oh yeah, he found a bug. I need to fix that bug. Steve submitted some documentation. I think I missed this, or forgot about it. But I can review that one and do it. Oh, this one will get merged into our omnibus PR. And then we had someone asking about IPv6 stuff. And this one just got kicked back from 462 and 461 anyway. This one does not have an owner. Is anyone I expect I will not have time to look at this by the end of the month, but which I think, well, no. Is anyone interested in investigating this pull request that will probably need a little bit of love to rebase it to get IPv6 working on Pixie? If I don't hear any takers today, I will leave it in the release, but I will probably not block the release for it. I'll leave it in this milestone for now. Just be aware. And then issues in our milestone.
Out of curiosity, what is the user base for IPv6 inside of HPC clusters?
In terms of the motivation, it's coming from, I think it's NSF, somewhere like their grant guidelines are requiring the use of IPv6 after a certain date. And so that's like why it's happening. Now, I think some people see that and they talk about, well, our services are accessible over IPv6, and they make that argument, and then they just don't talk about the fact that it's still using IPv4 internally. Some people see that requirement and say we need to be IPv6 everywhere and start asking for Warewulf to be IPv6. So we've had like yeah,
I guess my thought
two
is
or three different groups who have asked for it, and one of them went so far as to submit a pull request, but it just hasn't had a champion internally that can test it and make sure it's working.
Because I guess my thought would be, if I was going to go down the route of IPv6, I'd probably look just directly at HTTPS boot and not worry about Pixie.
Yeah.
Seems like you're just loading a more middleware in that you could just bypass and go straight and start pulling images.
But the same is true of IPv4 too, right?
Oh no, that's true. I totally agree. But with IPv6, I already know that the IPv6 HTTP client and obviously the web server is already ready to run.
maybe by the time you're doing IPv6 boot, you
Yeah.
know you're on an HTTPS boot capable system. So what is
Exactly,
okay?
right? All
I
the
gotcha.
system, every system I'm touching now that's coming out supports HTTP boot. You just set it up in the BIOS and it just runs.
Yeah. So these are the remaining issues that are currently tagged for 463. It's not too many, and I don't think any of them are really huge. So I think this is somewhat feasible. I don't think that there's anything that I would personally, again with self-interest, block the release for, except for the API work that CIQ is doing. But and maybe, you know, there's some bugs in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bugs, and one of them's an error message thing that, you know, it's just messaging. So I'd probably prioritize those and try to get those in for a release. But anything else that people, you know, aside from dnsmasq conversion that's not listed here, people would like, you know, I'll move it in 463 for you, Christian.
Quick,
I'll bring it over here.
Yeah.
yeah. One quick question on dnsmasq. As I understand, it's also a TFTP server.
Yes.
Right.
So are we going to also then have it serve both functions?
Yeah.
That is my recommendation, but
Okay.
that is my
That's
recommendation
absolutely
long
no
term.
problem. The template already configures it, and you just yeah.
The documentation for
The
using
thing is,
dnsmasq.
TFTP is really a quite simple protocol, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, when setting up, I'm just looking at, I'm thinking ahead on what the configuration file is going to look like for Warewulf, and it sounds like dnsmasq kind of gets its own space. It covers multiple services.
It covers
Mhm.
multiple servers, and we will also get then DNS for free.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I have moved the dnsmasq thing in there and put Christian on it. Is this? I'm gonna put Christian on this one too,
Oh yeah.
because it's related to
Yeah,
dnsmasq.
that's
Oh wait. Oh, I just searched for this isn't where I want to be looking. um I wanted to be here. Okay. I have myself on this bug. Um I will put myself on this bug as well. Well, I'll just do it this way. Um this is weird because this appears to be working in my environment, so I will investigate that. And then this is a tiny error message thing. So I can take those. But any other assignments that people would like to be made in here? Let's look at ones that don't have an assignment. That's what we should look at. We should look at assignee, no assignee. Anyone willing to take on any of these?
Well, the add interface bond support into NetPlan is resolved with the enhanced NetPlan that is already going in.
Cool. Let's make sure that that is tagged as such. Oh yeah, it has
Okay,
this here. So it knows that it
cool.
is happening.
Just want to make sure.
We'll make sure that is the right one. Yeah, improved NetPlan support. That's the right PR. I'll go ahead and assign that one to me since I own that PR right now. All right. The remainder of these are relatively small. You know, this is a bug too. This needs to be marked as a bug. And I think I will, without hearing anyone else, take that one to myself as well. But that's an OpenHPC bug that they have notified us about. Yeah, just there are 5 more things here, and if anyone is willing or inclined to take those on, come and do so. Otherwise, they might miss the 463, but that's not a big deal. We'll just kick into 464. Anything else that we need to discuss before we go?
No.
All right. thanks everyone, as always, for your time and attention and contribution. And we will see some of you at PEARC next week throughout, but the BoF is on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Is that right, Rose?
It's definitely a 2. And so sorry, I thought you guys were still talking about technical stuff. I just wanted to real quick, if
Oh.
that's okay. So at CIQ, we have a couple of people that like you know, are searching the web for anything that has to do with any of the products that we support. And of course, Warewulf is one of them. And so if some random person somewhere like writes an article or posts a blog or does anything like that that mentions
Oh yeah,
Warewulf,
yeah. I'm sorry. You mentioned this up here and then I skipped right over it.
that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, so this here is one of those such articles that mentions Warewulf, and it's kind of fun and cool. I guess I just have like I don't know what it is, but I have I'm like sensitive to just like putting stuff in the Warewulf community and putting it on our x.com and our bluesky.com and things like that. But is it cool if I do that? Like, can I reference this
On
and
those
post it
channels, I
and-
think no question. I think if you find my opinion, we'll hear if Christian or Jeremy in particular say anything different. But in my opinion, on X and Blue Sky, that kind of stuff, I would love to see this stuff published out there.
Cool. What do you think, Christian?
It's great. But I think I know that guy who wrote that.
Jonathan Decker, it looks like.
No, the Julian Kunke.
Oh,
At
Julian.
least remember the name. But
I looked
it's
for
these
them
are
both.
German
different
names, so it's sometimes.
Yeah.
And this
But-
is the second time that we've seen someone doing Kubernetes on Warewulf recently. It was someone from, was it University of Alberta? And they're
Yeah,
running.
but the Egbert Michael Decker also did Kubernetes on Werewolf. There's a template for it.
I was playing
There's
around
a-
with it myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then the University of Alberta guys were also running a Proxmox cluster on Warewulf, which I was particularly tickled by.
Oh.
On Warewulf or Warewulf.
Yeah.
Proxima. Because
Yeah,
I've run.
they boot their Proxmox nodes using Warewulf.
Interesting.
Like not the instances, the hosts. And they love it.
Cool.
So yeah,
That's
Rose, go for it.
Awesome. Will do. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I was actually playing around with deploying Ceph through Warewulf.
Awesome. Do you,
So,
you
like,
say playing around
easy.
with? Have you had success? Do you have it working?
I ran out of hardware, so
Okay.
I had to go back to the drawing board at some point.
Fair enough. All right.
All right.
Well, with that, thank you, everyone. See you soon, hopefully. If not, we'll have our next meeting on, presumably. Oh, no, it's a fifth week. So our next one of these is on the 6th, August 6th. So we'll see y'all then.
Okay.
Right.
See you.
All right.
See
thanks.
whoever at PEARC.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.